Now we are going to add few more attributes to this frame layout, and such as gravity's chosen as center. And now we are in the power fragment. Actually we are designing it. Let me try to add theme here, and it is having daylight effect with the dark action bar. After that you have to add the linear layout here, and the linear layout is having width and height as 330 dp and wrap content orientation is vertical. Within this linear layout you have to add image button, and the width and height for this image button is taken as a wrap content. Also the ID for this image button is given as btn underscore close. Now let me add a vector resource here for the image asset. Let me search out for close. Okay, then I will just click on next, then finish. But before this, let me try to change the color to the black and then finish. Okay, now let me add drawable / IC baseline close. Okay, so it is added, and now I have to add margin here. The margin is 16 dp and the background is taken from the color as transparent. Okay, let me add the layout gravity as a top or start. Okay, it is done, and now let me close it. But before this I have to add the content description for that close image button as close. Okay, now it is fully completed this view. After this we have to add the scroll view here, and for the scroll view the width and height as match parent and gravity is center horizontal. Also the fill view port is true for this. And now the linear layout inside that scroll view, and the linear layout is having values as layout width and layout height, match parent, wrap content respectively. Orientation is vertical, margin is being set it out there. And now I have to close this linear layout, and within this linear layout you have to add one more linear layout with width and height as match parent and wrap content. Margin from the bottom is 24 dp, orientation is vertical. And within this inner linear layout we have to add a text view here, and the text view having the properties like width is match to parent and height is wrap content. Also the ID is txt underscore title. After that I have to add one more property called text, and let me add something text as for game or for check. Okay, for check. So this text view is also having some more attributes such as its styling, and its styling is text style as bold, and text alignment is being done to the center. Okay, now I have to add the layout margin from the bottom as 24 dp. After this, let me check what I have to add related to the text. Okay, the text color. Let me add the text color as it is present in the Android, and then we'll go to that color library and select as hollow green light. Okay, it is also looking good if you see in the right side of your screen. Okay, now I have to add text appearance and taking its value from style. Okay, so now this is also completed, and afterwards we have to add text input layout here, and within this text input layout we are giving the values for width and height as match parent and wrap content. Also, the style is being given to this input layout, and the text style is taken from the style, and then get dot material component dot text input dot outline box dot dense. Okay, so this will be used for decorating that border. Okay, and now I have to add text input layer here, and its properties are being given here like margin and text hint. Okay, so for now you have to add few more views for this power fragment, and these views are text input, edit text. Okay, and now I will give the value for the width and height. Okay, so the value is being given here, and the ID is given as edt underscore set underscore pow. And for now you have to add input type as number decimal only. Now the digits, the valid digits for this is given there. After that the IME option is to be done for the action being okay or done. After that the max line, max length like properties are also being added here, and afterwards let me give padding. So I'm giving as 8 dp as padding, and now the text color hint is darker gray. Okay, now I have to add the text color as black. By default the text is also black, but I'm just adding. Okay, now the text appearance, that is same from the style library, but the suffix part is changed. Okay, so now let me add some tools text here, and this is the text property. Let me add it as 2, and then text alignment is from the text start. Okay, afterwards we have to add the text style as normal, So it is also completed. Let me remove this extra space from here, and after this we have to add a few more attributes, like one more text view having width and height as match parent and wrap content. Also the text alignment is given here, and text alignment is not the issue, but the text appearance is the issue here. Let me add it to the medium, and now we will add the alignment, and it is from center. Okay, now the text is being given here. What's the text? Like, text is a bounding of 2 or 3 lines that you can add. It is up to you. So for now you can see that the margin from the top is 16 dp. Okay, so now we are outside that linear layout and trying to adding a material button here, having the properties width and height as wrap content, and the ID is given as btn_continue. Also the text is being given here as OK for this button. So now let me add the text size for our button. So it is given as 16 dp. Also the corner radius is 8 dp, and now the style is taken from that shouting help for that tiered shirt or pant. Okay, so now it is a limited component dot button dot outline button. Okay, so for now we have to add a margin here, margin of 8 dp. After that we have to set the layout gravity as center and horizontal. Let me remove this extra space from here, and after birds here I'm also removing the space. You can see that. Let me scroll back to the above, and now you can see the code, and if you are getting messed up at anywhere, then pause the video and correct it. Okay, so it is completed. Right now you can see that in the right side of your screen, as I have to add some text for this, so I cannot add any unrespectable text or receiving help from English literature specialist for that, and just trying myself on it. Okay, now let me change it to kind of 3 or 4 lines, or you can add up to 14 lines and 10 lines. After all, okay, so now it is completed. Let me see if there is any problem that you can face. So I don't think that there is any problem here right now. And let me scroll back, and while scrolling back we'll come back to our project, and on the res file like Drival is having all those students who have come from their classes to this, but now we have to add some block like item underscore block. Okay, so it is being adding here. You can see that the layout is created, and for now we have to see what we can change here. Now we are going to add frame layout here, and other properties such as making the orientation as vertical. Okay, now you have to add the linear layout here. Linear layout having the properties width and height as match parent and wrap content. Also the orientation is vertical and margin is 80p. After that, within this linear layout we are adding a text view here, and the text view is having its own properties like width and height, and ID is important. Let me add the text as has block for this text view. Okay, and now let me go for the text style as bold. After that, text appearance, we are taking the algorithm for this also. Okay, now the text alignment is being done here as from the text start, and layout margin top, margin add is 80p. Both of them are same, but we have to change the one, so I've changed the end one to the 4. Okay, now I have to add a linear layout here having the properties match parent wrap content and orientation is vertical. Okay, now we have to also give some views within this linear layout, and from that one we are having this text view here, and the text view is having the properties like width and height as wrap content, and our text is given here, it is previous has. Okay, so within this now we have to add one more property for text appearance. Okay, and here we have to add some text alignment and margin here, and now this text view is completed. Okay, so for now we have to see what we can add, such as we are adding a text view here, and the text view is also having this similar properties, but we have to revise that. Okay, so it is layout width and layout height, also the ID, we are taking the ID, and we have set it up standard for BMI by our own. And now I am adding the text alignment here, and I will remove the extra space from here. After removing the extra space, I have to add another linear layout here having properties match parent and wrap content. Okay, so now the orientation for this is vertical and margin from the top side is 80p. Okay, now one more text view. The text view is having the properties like width and height. After that, we have to give the time stamp also, as this view is being created for getting the timestamp by hook or crook. Okay, so now we have to add text dot set example, but before this we have to add the margin. Margin is taking up the 4 dp just like the previous one. And now we have to add another text view here, having properties like height and width as match parent and wrapper content. Also the id is txt underscore text timestamp. Okay, and now we have to add the text here. So let me add the text as timestamp value. Afterwards the text appearance being added here, and now the alignment. So it is also completed the text view. Let me remove the extra space from here, and I have to add a linear layout here also, just after closing that previous linear layout, and it is having the properties as width as match parent and height as wrap content. Also the orientation is chosen as vertical for this, and the margin from the top is 8 dp. Okay, so for now we have to see what we can make the code easier by copying this. Okay, let me check first of all, and now we will paste it here. So I've just pasted it here. Now I have to make few changes within this copied things, such as I have to add the previous hash value. Now it is block data, and it is what it is. Now guessing is somewhat makes you true. Let me add the text view here in a second, and I'm just adding the properties that is similar to everyone who drinks tea. Okay, now I have to add text as data, and now this is the new text view. I have to add few values also for it: appearance, height, width, id, text. Okay, so now let me remove the extra space first of all. Actually this extra space takes much more time, but now we have to add one more linear layout here, and within this linear layout we are adding the properties as width, height, map top and map bottom, with the orientation chosen as vertical here. Okay, now let me see what I can do this. I've just copied them and then now I have to make change here, like block has, and here what I have to change, let me see. Okay, make it text underscore has. Okay, this is also done, but what we see to remove the extra space here. Okay, so the extra space is removed, and now let me go back, and what we have to go back, I have to go back from 5 or 10 years to my view part, and within this I'm just adding the width and height as match parent and 1. Also the background is being setted out here, and the background is color, that is blue bright. Okay, actually these colors have that hex value. If you doesn't know about it, go to Google and read about the hex chart of colors. Okay, and now this view is almost completed. So yes, there are some errors, but don't worry about that. Whenever we are going to run the project, there will be no errors. Okay, so let me just scroll it and see you for what we have added in this video. Okay, so as you can see that I'm just scrolling, and after scrolling, let me come back, and here I will try to come on project, and then let me make one more XML for this. And what it is for, layout resource XML, it is for switch layout. Just have to switch that inner and outer night bulb. These button will for that. Okay, and now I'll click on OK. After that we are within this, and now let me see what we have to do here. Let me remove first of all this constraint layout from this and try to add a switch there, but it is a switch material come from the Google material library. Okay, after that, to add ID for this, I'm adding the ID switch underscore mode, also checking it to false, and let me take padding for it as 65 dp. Okay, this is done. The item, afterwards we will do the rest of the work in the next video. So thank you.